We deal with kids from disadvantaged backgrounds. A lot of the kids have been in state care. We've got a group from Focus Ireland. The project itself is just a medium to something greater, I think. It's just the meeting point. But it's just the way people interact with each other, I think, that is what's important. I suppose they're developing basic woodwork skills, but they're also developing themselves. These guys are from the South Hillman shed, and this is a project that they're working on. So it's a little plywood dinghy.
How do you think this relates to what you're doing in Kenmare?
Well, the possibility, I suppose, if we can carry on, that there's a great chance, as the fellow said, that we can improve on things, you know what I mean, because ours is only in its infancy, you know. Michael has a great, you know what I mean, he's great going. I haven't met anybody like him, you know what I mean, as the fellow said. A churchman, they generally, the most of them that we have known, sat back and enjoyed their luxury. That's not the way.
The first time I came here I was inspired, and I'm even more inspired. And you could tell by the reaction from the guys that these guys are going back, and we can't wait to get back to building that curragh. And the next boat and the boat after that. We've got the possibility of this gym which we can restore. If that happens, sky's the limit.
Michael, all the best. Thanks. Take care. Drive well. Cheers. Bye-bye. There's nothing better than to see people achieving things that they never thought were possible. And it's amazing what can actually happen when you bring people together and just join the dots, if you like. Whole new possibilities emerge.
Across town, near Moyross, is another project where people give something back to their community. The St Munchin's Family Resource Centre was originally set up by Salesian nuns, but is now run by local people. When Bishop Trevor first spent a morning volunteering in the Meals on Wheels kitchen, the staff had no idea he was a bishop.
Hello. Trevor's my name.
Hi.
How are you?
How are
Great.
you doing?
Great. Not too sure what this is about here.
Oh, you get all shapes.
You know, I think that old age, or growing old, is probably one of the most difficult things that we ever face in life. Because you're having to let go things that you've been doing all your lives and no longer able to do it. And that's
just to know your limits then.
I know.
We've an awful lot of widow women, you know, that the husbands have gone before them. And then it's hard, like, when they no longer have the big pot with dinner to cook and, you know. So the day is too long for them.
Great.
Bishop Trevor has spent the day undercover, but by the end, one of the kitchen staff is suspicious about their new volunteer.
So are you a priest?
What would make you think that?
I don't know, I get that from you.
Do you?
I was thinking about you all morning and then it just came to me. I said, he's a religious man.
I am, if you're right and maybe not so right, because I am a priest, but I'm also a bishop.
Wow.
But a Church of Ireland bishop.
Oh, very nice.
There you are.
Lovely.
Did you know we had a bishop in the kitchen all morning with us?
A bishop?
Where?
You're a bishop?
Yeah, that's what...
Your surname is Bishop? No.
Trevor Bishop, yes.
I just knew it. I just said it to my sight where he's a priest.
And it wasn't because you never peeled potatoes before.
Very good.
Personal faith is still important to most people, but institutional religion has lost its grip on Ireland. Young people in particular are turning away from church. In last week's programme, Bishop Trevor went undercover in St Anne's Community College in Killaloo to find out why young people are turned off by religion. His cover story was a Would You Believe programme. The students didn't know they were talking to a bishop.
What was the main reason why you no longer find going to church something you want to do?
It's boring.
It's boring?
It's really outdated. You have to remember like all the stuff the priest did to like children and like adults growing up. Like.
Bishop Trevor appreciated the students' honesty, but realised that many still have a spiritual need.
It helped me through a lot of things. Like if I didn't have that, then don't know what I'd do.
Hello, Greg here.
Hello, Greg. I was down at St. Anne's. I had a very good conversation with them, but quite honestly, I'm feeling that to take it a stage further, a bit out of my depth. So
Now he wants to reconnect the students with a faith that he believes can contribute to their lives. And he knows someone who might be able to do just that.
Like I said, my name is Greg. I'm originally from, very good, Chicago. Oh, that's a bit too specific. Kind of creeping me out there a little bit.
Bishop Trevor has used his connections to bring Greg from Three Rock Youth to hold a religious workshop for the students. Greg and his team specialise in making religion accessible to teenagers.
We're trying to get to know you, and we're actually helping you guys figure out who you are, what your identity is, because teenagers like yourselves are expressing your opinions. You guys will eventually change the way that faith is practiced in this country.
Know that you're an individual. Know that, not necessarily we have to be part of the gang.
While Bishop Trevor stays out of sight, Susie Keane from Three Rock Youth gives the students practical tasks which encourages them to think about their identity and how faith relates to their lives.
I'm a member of the Red Cross and it's a big part of my life, so I said I'd put it in.
I don't know, just colourful and stuff. Big bubbles, because I'm bubbly.
That painting made you think about yourself.
Yeah. It made us think about what's important to us and we could try to put it on the card or whatever. No, I'm not insulting the last guy that was here the last day, but no, it was easier to talk to these guys now because they're younger and more fun and stuff. When the other time it was just kind of more structured.
Okay.
Bishop Trevor is keen to see how the students are getting on and to reveal who he really is.
You might remember the next person who was here a few weeks ago. So let's welcome Bishop Trevor Williams.
Hello, welcome. Good to be with you again. I don't know whether you recognise this gear, do you? Well, the gear is of a Church of Ireland bishop. Did anyone guess that I was a bishop? Because you might have seen me before somewhere, did you? And I bet you told all your mates, did you? No, you didn't tell anyone. Right. Well, that was good. No, the reason I do that is that actually, if you dress up like this, people tend to respond in a certain way. Do you know what I mean? They say, well, gosh, I'm not comfortable being around bishops or whatever else, and what would I say if I was speaking to a bishop, all of that kind of stuff. So I hope you don't think there's any kind of trick in that. It wasn't meant to be a trick. It was meant to be a way in which we could meet just as people and have a good conversation together. And certainly I learned an awful lot from the conversation that we had together from you, and I want to thank you, each of you, for that. Do you ever get frustrated, I suppose, with the church in terms of how difficult young people find it to relate to what it normally does?
Yeah, most definitely. We need to stop and interrupt ourselves and say, what are we actually doing right here, right now? And so I get frustrated with church because it almost seems like the questions have to be left outside.
And I want you to think about something in your life that was maybe quite pivotal for you, like a good memory. I want you to think about, did it have any effect on you and how does it have an effect on you?
When my mum got sick, it made me realise not to take things for granted.
When my senior cycle came around, I moved to St. Anne's because I had family here. But I ended up making a load of new friends, and I don't know, it was the first time I actually felt like I fit in.
The Leinster football final, I know it might sound like much, but Westmeath won it for the first time in a long time.
It doesn't take much for a church to turn inside out and face outwards. There just seems to be you tell me, what's stopping us from doing that?
I suppose what's stopping us from doing that is people have an expectation of what church is.
Okay.
And they've also liked the way church is for them.
Okay. I'm not sure if the majority of churchgoers have figured out that what they're learning in church is not just for them to hang on to, it's for them to actually give away. And I truly believe that if the church can just stop long enough, let go of the fear, let go of the control, and engage in where society and culture is at today, they're going to find God already at work. We just need to get stuck in there. If God was standing right here before you, and he's not because it's me, but if God was standing right here before you, what would you say to him? What would you say to God if he was standing right here, right now? Would you shout at him? Would you ask him a question? Would you say you loved him?
For the last part of the workshop, Greg asks the students to write a message to God. which they attach to helium balloons.
I just said to help me do my best.
I said, say hi to my granny and granddad.
Watch me and who really are you? What do you do when we're finished right now?
Great. It's quite exciting. Everyone's kind of, balloons, yeah.
Okay, everybody, now listen up. Don't let go of them yet. Not yet. We have to cut some people free from their balloons, first of all. Okay, I'm gonna count. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna release on 3. Already? 1, 2, 3.
Young people today get a lot more out of things, doing stuff like this, instead of sitting down and being, told what to believe in and just handed down certain material. I think this has made it a lot more personal.
Yeah. It wasn't just an act, it wasn't just a kind of a stunt. It was just something meaningful for you, was it?
Yeah. Made, reminded you of what faith was about, your beliefs, not anybody else's.
Just for God to help me do my best, and see if he answers.
There's great sadness for me in it, though, that as a church, very often we don't reach those paths that the balloons could reach.
Well, if there is a God, he's getting a message from me anyway. And
I don't think that the church at the moment, in its present form, has all the answers. I think we're at a critical moment in time. We need to really engage with what people, not only young people, but what people are saying about their life today.
On this journey, Bishop Trevor Williams put aside his crozier and mitre in search of inspiration for the future of the church. In doing so, he found God already at work in the community.
We've so much to learn from people who are different from ourselves, because none of us have all the answers, and unless we're willing to learn alongside them, they won't come near us as a church. And why should they? And see those spots, I peeled them myself.
Yeah, there you go, don't worry about it.
I can preach about the Good Samaritan. I know all of that, it pales into insignificance compared to someone actually doing it and actually showing this is how I want to live. I did that, yes. I did it more. One of the things I've learned during this journey is the fact that God is at work in the community. God is out there doing things. And it is the church's job to get out there and discover what church is doing and join in. That's the message I come away with from my pilgrimage and my retreat in the community.
Next week, Would You Believe offers a unique portrait of a little-known priest whom Gerry Adams credits with playing the most vital role in the Northern Irish peace process. Father Alec Reid, the secret peacemaker, is next Sunday night at 10:35 here on RTE1. After the break, the week in politics.